Is she?
Welcome to Lioness Lifestyle Live.
So my name is Lindsay.
And my name is Christy.
And my name is Ellie. And we are all eating a meat-based nutritious diet.
We will have discussions concerning women's health and their unique perspectives on keto and carnivore diets.
To discuss topics such as motherhood, aging, weight loss, pregnancy, mental health, and much more.
We hope you join us to Chew the Fat on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. See you then, Lionesses.
Hey everyone, welcome to Lioness Lifestyle Live.
We are so excited to meet you this evening.
Get your questions ready for our awesome guest, Andrea Lee. If you have a question, please put a question mark or like Q next to it in your comment.
So I'm getting ready to do the Roar of the Week. And, you know, the Roar of the Week is something that we do with a comment that someone puts in after the fact. So after tonight's live stream, please go in and comment. We read through all those, we sift through them, and we pick out a Roar of the Week. The most awesome thing about this Roar of the Week is it's our guest this week, Miss Andrea. Andrea said after last week's live, Lynn, thank you for sharing your story. I'm so glad you have found this way of eating and have found healing. So thank you, Andrea, for that comment and for being this week's Roar of the Week.
All right, let's bring her in. Are we ready?
Absolutely.
Hi, Andrea. Welcome.
Andrea, welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
We're so excited to have you on our show, all of our channels on our show, and to hear your story about how you've been doing. We'd love to know what your health story has been, and introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, of course. My name is Andrea. I am 25. I had to think about that today. I was like driving and I'm like, how old am I? Oh my goodness. But I had just recently moved to North Carolina, and the reason I moved was because of my health. So I'll back up a little bit just to kind of give a brief explanation of my childhood. I didn't grow up in a pretty healthy household. We ate a lot of processed foods. I lived mostly with my grandparents, and then when my grandma passed away, I moved in with my mom, and my life was pretty unstable. I was eating lots of microwaved foods and ice cream, lots of ice cream. My grandpa would actually take me to the drive-thru at McDonald's, and I'd eat ice cream for breakfast. Anyway, so I started noticing and being aware of my health when I was in high school. I had every symptom that you could imagine, from constipation to acne to chronic fatigue, brain fog. I had so much brain fog that I thought that I was just stupid because I was just having such a hard time concentrating in class. And it was really tough. So I ended up seeing a chiropractor who was also a nutritionist, and she kind of got me on track. I was able to get some of my symptoms under control, like my joint pain and my digestion. And then life kind of got crazy again, and I started back down the trail of just not eating well. And in August of 2021, I became bedridden. I ended up going to the emergency room because I couldn't stand. And they sent me to a cardiologist, and I ended up getting diagnosed with POTS, which took me down another rabbit hole of finding out what essentially caused my POTS. And it was Lyme disease and mold toxicity. With that came a host of different symptoms, like your other the last person that you had on here, she had mast cell activation syndrome. I suffered a lot with that. And then, of course, the POTS and so many symptoms. But I was so desperate. I was down to eating one food. I was eating cauliflower, and I was losing weight and just really essentially dying. I was withering away. And I had a couple people tell me about carnivore diet, and I saw some testimonies about people with Lyme disease doing the carnivore and healing. And so that's what brought me here now. So it's been about 2 years. I am able to work and live my life, and my skin's cleared up. I have no more joint pain. I'm not dizzy. My POTS is under control. There are a couple things I'm still working on, but that really has to do with the mold illness that I'm dealing with.
That's awesome. So I can totally relate to you on the skin clearing up. I was watching one of your videos today talking about how your skin was clear as a teenager. Now you're much closer to being a teenager than I am. I'm 48. So you're like just out of being a teenager. But when I was a teenager, my skin was clear. Like in high school, everyone was like, jealous because they were all getting the acne. Who knows? I wasn't doing anything healthy. I don't know why. But when I got into my 20s, 30s, 40s, I had cystic acne bad. Mine was, I don't know where yours was, but mine was like all over on both sides of my chin. And I haven't really had any, except I got one breakout a couple of weeks ago because I tried a new skincare product. Dummy.
That's the worst.
I know what it was. My skin is very sensitive, but otherwise I've had, other than that, no breakouts since I went carnivore in June. So I was like, aha, it's not just me and the Clear Skin Club. I love it.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. I wish I had some pictures. I never took pictures during that time because it was mostly up here, actually on my cheeks. I would get some on my jaw, but it would be more like underneath my chin. But yeah, I didn't until like the end of high school is when I started getting it. And I'm like, I already hit puberty. What's going on? So, and I'd get a lot on my back too.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that's doing better. I can also just attest to what a relief that is. You mentioned POTS, and until I heard you say POTS earlier today when I was watching your stuff, I wasn't familiar with that. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So POTS stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So to get diagnosed, you actually have to go to a cardiologist, but disease, or I hate calling it a disease, but what it is actually a dysfunction of your autonomic nervous system. So things like your digestion, your heart rate, your blood pressure, all the things that your nervous system controls without you thinking of it becomes dysregulated. So my blood pressure was dropping really low. I had like hypostatic orthotension. So when I would stand up, my blood pressure would drop. So I would like black out and stuff like that. And then my heart rate was always elevated no matter what I did. Even if I was like sitting up, my heart rate would shoot up to like 170.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of things would happen too. I mean, I had chronic diarrhea and just overall just muscle pain and weakness because my nervous system was like, what's going on? I had a lot of chest pain, felt like I was having heart attacks every single day. I remember going to the emergency room like every other week and they're like, you're stressed. I'm like, what? There's something wrong. Like, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. My whole arm would go numb. I'd have pain in my chest.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so a lot of people with POTS will get those types of symptoms, but from my understanding and what I'm learning through natural health care is that POTS is always a secondary disease. So you have to look for a underlying root cause, which can be usually mold, people living in black mold, or something like Lyme disease, or even Epstein-Barr virus, stuff like that.
Okay.
My sister actually has POTS. She has POTS, and she also has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yes, that too.
Yes. Yeah, so she has that and POTS and a couple of other things. And so I completely understand what you've gone through. Absolutely.
Yeah, so traumatic brain injuries and Ehlers-Danlos, I can never pronounce it, but EDS,
EDS
will cause that because of your ligaments. And it's interesting because I believe I have it too, because
Whoa.
Oh yeah, hypermobile. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I've been to rheumatologists and stuff. I've been to doctors and I've shown them, and my skin's really stretchy. I have a lot of EDS type symptoms, and they're like, nah. And I'm like, I even have POTS. Like, this is crazy. But the thing is that Carnivore has helped me so much with, because I used to not be able to like look back like this. Like, I'd have to hold my neck. So like I had no stability in my joints at all. But
Wow.
Carnivore has helped me so much.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
completely understand that. Like, for her, for specifically, like she's always like dislocating like her collarbone and like her hips. She has to like have, everything taped and stuff like that. Do you also suffer with that?
Yeah, so my ribs will go out of place a lot. I go to the chiropractor and get them pushed back in. But like I said, the Carnivore has helped. And also I do like isometric exercises. So instead of like doing 10 squats, like I'll hold the squat, and it helps strengthen your ligaments in your joints. And I also noticed that I'm not sure if your sister's carnivore or not, but oxalates are one of the leading reasons for EDS, because they'll accumulate in your joints and they'll cause that deterioration of the collagen and stuff. And I noticed that if I do have if I have anything with almond flour or anything that's high oxalates, I'll get that instability in my neck again. My knees, like I'll lose my stability in my legs, like my knees will give out and stuff like that. So I really have to be careful about eating oxalates.
Yeah, she's not carnivore. She totally like supports me and everything I do. I've tried to, talk to her about it, but she's working with like the Mayo Clinic right now and she seems to be doing okay. But I'm definitely going to be sharing this episode with her.
Yes,
With all the info so I can push her towards that. She'll probably be like, "Oh, Ellie, stop."
I know. It's hard. It's hard. And with diseases and stuff too, people can kind of, I'm not saying that your sister does this, but we kind of cling to it, and it can become our identity. And I've had people, I used to be a nutritionist down in Florida, and I've had people stop my program because they were getting better, and they were like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, you're getting better. They're like, yeah, I can't do it. I'm like, okay. And they're just like, it's like it becomes part of them and they can't let it go.
Yeah.
Interesting. So Susan E says that she has loose ligament syndrome. I've dislocated both my shoulders dozens of times. I can't imagine that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
My brother has it as well. So it sounds like that runs in her family. Yeah, that sounds painful.
Yep. Sometimes my shoulder it'll dislocate and I pop it back in.
Ouch. Man.
Wow.
Man,
Man,
It's insane. It's insane. It really is. So it's nice to, because I've seen her like struggle with it, but she's strong. She's in physical therapy and she's younger, but still she's working through it. So it's nice to see that there are other people out there who might be suffering with something similar, and you're having such great results with carnivore. The thing I don't know about is Lyme disease. Could you tell me more about that? Because it's like,
Yeah.
my brother had that. He got it from a tick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when people get Lyme disease, there's a couple things that can happen. One, you get bit by a tick and you develop a bullseye rash immediately after an infected tick that had Lyme bit you. And then you can get rounds of doxycycline or some type of antibiotic, and it'll take care of the bacteria. But what normally happens is that people get Lyme and they don't get a bullseye rash, and they don't get the flu-like symptoms that come with that. So they never knew that they got bit. And so they just like slowly start degrading. Lyme likes to embed itself in people's tissues, like their joints or their brain or their spinal cord. So that's why a lot of people with Lyme, like when I first got sick, I begged my mom to take me to psych because I was like, I'm losing my mind. So a lot of people who struggle with like schizophrenia, stuff like that, I usually suggest them to like look into Lyme disease because it will embed itself into the tissue, and it's a spiral. They're called spirochetes. It's a bacteria that's shaped like a spiral, and it'll embed itself. So even if you get a blood test, so this is sorry, it's a lot of information.
We love it. Bring on the information.
We might get in trouble for this. The CDC does what's called a Western blot, and the Western blot only checks for 5 strands of Lyme, and it's only the 5 strands of Borrelia Lyme. So if you suspect that you have Lyme disease and you go to your primary care doctor and they test you for Lyme disease, you're most likely going to come back with a negative because of the way they test it. And because it gets embedded in your tissue. So they're checking for antibodies when they do the Western blot. But if it's chronic, your body is not producing antibodies. So it's going to show up negative. So there are a couple other labs that will test for, there's like hundreds of strands of Lyme that will test for all of them. And they actually test for like the actual biomarkers of Lyme and not the antibodies, so that you're more likely to get a more accurate reading. Now, there are a couple different, like I said, Lyme is like a broad spectrum, but I specifically was dealing with Bartonella, which you can get from cats. You can get from literally almost anything. Cats carry Bartonella, which is cat scratch fever. And then fleas carry Lyme. Parasites carry Lyme. So people, if they get parasites like in their intestines, and sometimes they can show up for Lyme because the parasites have Lyme. And it's a crazy process, and it's hard because the medical system doesn't recognize it. They just think that people are crazy. I got labeled for a whole year. I got labeled as just having anxiety. And while I had like severe joint pain, chronic diarrhea, weight loss, I mean, all this stuff. And I was just labeled with anxiety. And
I think
it's really, really sad. And Lyme is more prevalent than we think. And there's some good documentaries out there. One's called The Quiet Pandemic. And then the other one is called I'm Not Crazy, I'm Sick. And it really goes into detail about like the political ins and outs of Lyme disease and also like what people deal with.
That's crazy. So I think, after listening to you, my brother was almost lucky because they did diagnose it. Now he's doesn't do any of this stuff. Like if you heard me talk about my 2 brothers got in an argument over like butter versus margarine, this is the team margarine brother. Like he is not the healthy brother at all. But I know Ellie's like, what? I'm like, I know, Ellie.
It was always team butter. I've never been team margarine.
Team butter for sure. Team butter for sure. But anyway, so he is not the healthier of my 2 brothers as far as his eating, but he's the one that got the Lyme disease from the tick. And he was sick for a long time. He kept getting flu-like symptoms and things, but they gave him antibiotics, which I guess means they discovered it, right? So he didn't have the problem, what you're saying, because they must have tested for it and found it in there. But it took him a long time. He kept getting sick and fevers and all this stuff. He didn't know why. But eventually he did, but it took, I don't know, a long time, a year or 2 before he felt better.
Yeah. Did they probably cycled him on doxycycline and some other antibiotics, but does he have any other problems since taking all those antibiotics?
So not that I know of. They were living in Virginia, which is why I'm in California. They were out in Virginia, so we weren't close by. I just I only know like the broad strokes of it, but I'm going to see him on Thanksgiving. I'll ask him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know a friend too down in Florida. She had the bullseye rash. She got doxycycline and she's fine.
Okay.
And that's awesome. So, as far as like chronic Lyme goes, it's a little bit harder to get rid of with doxycycline. You can, but you're going to end up taking it for years because it's evolved so deeply into your system. So herbs work a lot better, and mostly people who get chronic Lyme also have mold illness. So, or they may have an MTHFR mutation, which doesn't allow them to detox properly. So, my functional medicine doctor, he said, he's like, I know like you're dealing with Lyme, but we need to handle the mold first, because the mold is suppressing your immune system, so you're not able to handle the Lyme. A lot of people have Lyme and their immune system is able to suppress it, but it's when your body becomes overburdened with not eating right and stress and mold and heavy metals and all these things is when it actually becomes a problem.
So you mentioned you had mold toxicity. That was separate. That's like separate from the Lyme, right? It's not because of the Lyme, but it makes the Lyme worse. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I grew up in a moldy home. I mean, my mom said that she would walk into my room when I was a baby and my face would be covered in blood because I would just have chronic nosebleeds. I've had chronic nosebleeds until I moved out of that house. I have not had a nosebleed in a year, which has been awesome. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So, but yeah, so the mold can suppress your immune system, so that Lyme is more prevalent and it can manifest more. But I got a mycotoxin test, which is the biotoxin that mold produces. So mold, when it feels threatened or when other mold grows on top of it, so they like start fighting kind of, they release spores into the air and they release mycotoxins. And that's usually what is the problem when people get mold illness. And it can also colonize in your body and then you start producing mycotoxins. So when I got my blood work done, it showed high levels of, I don't know if I have it. I should have grabbed it. I might have it. I had like high levels of all mycotoxins. It was insane. And I was like, this is crazy. And I showed one of my allergists and he goes, mold can't make you sick. I'm like,
What?
showing all the mycotoxins in my body.
That might have been the dumbest thing a doctor's ever said.
Yeah, he said that's
vegetable oil is good for you. That's another dumb thing, but that's okay.
You hear them all, right? All these comments that doctors make to us, and it's just like, I want to show this comment from Gail earlier.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's see if I can find this blood work.
While you look for that. I've had every major tick-borne illness. I'm probably going to say all these wrong, but Borrelia, Babesia, Bartonella, Shigella, had them all.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that Dan has Babesia, Borrelia. I don't think he has Bartonella.
Yeah, Dan is her boyfriend. Who
Sorry,
also has.
Okay, I wasn't sure who Dan was. I'm like, got it. Okay.
That's my son.
Yeah, I know. That's also Lindsay's son. That's right.
Not the same person though.
No.
Yeah, they both met.
So.
They both met because they have Lyme disease, and right? Is that right? Andrea?
Yeah, so we met on a dysautonomia group, which is like POTS and stuff, because he was diagnosed with microvalve prolapse, and we got to chatting, and I was like, hey, have you ever got tested for Lyme? He goes, no, but I've been suspecting it because I had a rash not too long ago and I hike a lot. And I was like, you need to get tested for Lyme. And he did. And like a bunch of Lyme showed up. So he's doing a lot better though he's carnivore. He's the one who kind of talked me into doing carnivore. And we've both just seen so much benefit from it. So we probably won't ever go back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't blame you for that.
Well, I'm gonna. Oh,
I just wanted to show. If that's okay, I wanted to share this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of these should be yellow. This one is like all the way here. These are both orange. This one's red. This is probably HIPAA violation, but I don't care, you guys.
Tell the
Well,
truth,
Some
girl.
information then.
That page is bad.
Oh, that's like all orange and red.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had a lot going on. And sometimes you can get mycotoxins from food, but it's very rare. It's more from breathing it in. But like peanuts are high in mold. Coffee can be really high in mycotoxins. That's why like sometimes people who drink coffee, they can like get really, really bad anxiety. I know the caffeine can do that, but it can also be the mycotoxins that they're consuming.
That's so interesting. So our guest last week was Midlife Carnivore. This is Lynn. She said mold toxicity was an issue with my mast cell activation syndrome. I'm almost positive I don't detox because my house inspection came back clean.
Wow.
So yeah, it's hard with house inspections because I could visibly see my mold because the tiles on the wall were falling off, and then my mom's shower was leaking and it was like all throughout the house. And then I lived in Florida, so my house would flood periodically.
Mm-hmm.
So there was it was really water damage.
It's crazy here in Florida.
Yes. And then I also was working in a moldy restaurant as well. And the reason I know that was because I was the one cleaning the wall and the tiles and all that stuff. So with not being able to detox, I've been listening to a book called Dirty Genes by Dr. Ben Lynch. And he talks about how people can have snippet in their genes and it can cause us to not detox properly. And one of them is, like I mentioned earlier, is MTHFR gene. And that is where we can't methylate any vitamins or anything. So having methylated folate really helps people with that gene mutation, and also glutathione.
Okay. Well, Gail has a question for you. Gail wants to know, Andrea, have you taken the VCS test and been tested for SIRS?
I have not. I particularly don't like the Shoemaker protocol because that's usually what that is towards. Dr. Shoemaker kind of came up with chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and the VCS test is where you look at the screen and see the contrast. I have not done it. And I don't, like I said, I don't really care for the Shoemaker protocol. So I've seen people not do well on it. Not that it doesn't do well for some people. I've also seen some people do well on it. But for me personally, I just didn't want to take cholestyramine and stuff. So I've just been doing herbs and binders and supporting my methylation pathways, and I've been able to detox, and yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like Carnivore is really helping you, but can you tell us a little bit more about how you discovered Carnivore? Were you like standard American? I mean, I heard you say you ate ice cream for breakfast. Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. But did you jump right from eating ice cream for breakfast into Carnivore? Did you go like keto first, or how did that all go for you?
Yeah, so I have a certificate in nutritional response testing, which is like applied kinesiology and holistic nutrition. So I was a practitioner for about 2 years, and I ate pretty well. I've been gluten-free since I was 15, because that's really what was causing most of my joint pain and my digestive issues. But then as time went on, I kind of was eating sushi and pizza every once in a while. I ate a lot of Thai food. I mean, I love Thai food. I would eat it like 3 times a week. And so when I had gotten sick in 2021, I just cut out everything that was inflammatory. So I was doing more of like a paleo diet. So no sugar, no dairy, vegetables, fruit, and meat, pretty much. And if I did have anything, it'd be like gluten-free, sweetened with honey kind of thing. But as time went on, I started realizing that I was having like a histamine problem. So I was like making my food and having leftovers, and like strawberries are high in histamine, and all of these things that were contributing to like my reactions. Because I would eat something and then my heart rate would go up, I'd get hives and all of these things. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm eating healthy. And I was even scared to eat meat because I would cook meat, eat it, and then the next day I would eat it and I would break out in hives because the histamines would build. So I was terrified to eat meat, and I got down to only eating cauliflower. I was eating cauliflower for maybe a month, just like riced cauliflower with olive oil. That's all I was eating. I had lost like 30 pounds. And I was reacting to everything. I was reacting to gasoline. I was reacting like smells, anything I could smell or touch. Even if I like touched like a rose or a flower or anything, I would like react. I was like, what is going on? This is crazy. So that's when I met Dan, and he suggested carnivore. And so did my other friend who had Lyme disease, but I was like, I can't, like, I reacted, and he's like, you have to do it. And I was like, okay. So I went to the store one day and I bought grass-fed fresh ribeyes. And I would eat like half a ribeye in the morning and half a ribeye at night. And I did that for like maybe 2 weeks. And I was able to like walk down the driveway and like lift my arms. Like, I was so sick. I was able to lift my arms over my head again. Like, I was able to think and like make full sentences. And it was like, sorry. it gave me my life back. Like, I was completely bedridden. And
that's so hard.
Yeah. And it did. And it was hard to eat the meat, but I did it because I knew it would help me. And eventually I was able to incorporate some other foods at the time, and just keep going. And I wasn't reacting, and I was healing, and I was able to go on planes and travel and move out of the moldy home and start working again and make money. I was out of work for, I don't know, about a year, which I racked up a great credit card bill because all of the natural medicine, no insurance covers. So.
Wow.
You're so
But you
strong.
just wanted to be healthy. You just wanted to feel good, and that's what they told you to do.
Gail is relating to you. She says, man, I know everything she's talking about. Lived through that nightmare myself.
Oh, Gail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when I saw you talking about what you've been through and your boyfriend on one of Carrie's live streams, and like we had done it was like a random call we had all hopped on. That's why I wanted to reach out to you, because I was just like, if this can work for her, like, it must be so powerful. And then when we were making the show, I was like, we have to get Andrea on here. Like,
Aww.
yeah, you're like one of the first people I put on the list. So I was like, we're gonna get her. So
I do remember that, actually.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that you're on and you're sharing your
well,
story.
I have to give credit to where credit's due. And Rebecca Heischman she went through way more stuff than I did. She had chronic C. diff and Lyme as well. And she suffered for way longer than I did. And she got down, I think her lowest was 69 pounds. Like, she was skin and bone. And she felt that the Lord had told her to stop idolizing keto and just eat meat. And she did that while she was in the hospital, and they wouldn't let her go until she gained some weight. And that week, just eating meat and I think eggs and butter, I think she was eating, she gained 5 pounds. And so they were able to let her go. And she was like telling her doctor, and her doctor was like, well, just keep doing this weird meat diet. It's working. So
Hashtag weird meat diet.
yep. And so she kind of, I gravitated towards her because she had a lot of histamine issues. So I ate a lot of lamb in the beginning. I ordered a lot of meat from Billy Doe Meats and North Star Bison because their meat isn't aged. And that really got me through the darkest of the times. And it was so easy when I was sick. I was like, I know what I'm going to eat. I just pop it in the air fryer, and that was it.
Honestly, it's the easiest diet ever. Like, it's the easiest way of eating ever. Carnivore is so easy.
It is.
It's hard to get into the mindset to like let yourself do it though. I think that's like the biggest hurdle that people experience is just the being like, I don't know if I can do that. Because when I heard about this carnivore, I was just like, who, why, what?
Like, why would you do that? Why would you only eat
would
meat?
you do that to yourself?
It's like, do you
Where's
hate
the
yourself?
ice cream for breakfast?
Yeah.
And the cheesecake, honestly, it would be cheesecake for me. But
oh yeah, or cold pizza for breakfast.
Oh, cold pizza, yes.
Yep. I've been there before. Yep.
I ate a lot of I loved ranch too. Sorry if you have problems and we're triggering people, but I definitely I did have some binge eating problems that I'm still navigating through too, because I'm doing the 90-day challenge. And when I started carnivore, I always had some type of sweetener because of my POTS. I was always drinking electrolytes, and I always had like the sweetened electrolytes with the stevia in it. So these past 4 weeks has been really eye-opening because I'm just like no sweet taste at all. And it's interesting because I am now, like tonight I had a steak and I didn't even need to salt it. Like it just it tasted so good. I didn't have to enhance the flavor at all. And I think with sweeteners, it gives you such this heightened taste in your palate that everything else has to be heightened for you to enjoy it. So I've been able to enjoy meat without even salting it. It's been great.
That's so interesting because I am not the person here who ate picanha. It was not me. One of us ate picanha for dinner, but that's going to shock everybody that it was not me.
Gotta guess. Someone on this screen ate picanha. Obviously, it wasn't Christy, but someone else here.
If you think
Who
you know
do you think it
wasn't me, everybody. I know I'm the picanha queen. But what I did is I made Rick's heart attack chicken. If you haven't seen that, he's at Charger Mopar, and a video coming out soon. I'm editing now. But he doesn't salt, he doesn't season at all. It's literally just chicken fried in either lard or beef tallow. And I use beef tallow, and spoiler alert, I ate a piece. I couldn't wait. It smelled so good, unsalted, and I did end up salting the rest. And it tasted really good, salted, but that it just makes me wonder, Andrea, because I still do, that's the one thing I still do that does have a sweet taste is my electrolytes with the sweetener. I've gotten rid of pretty much everything else. It doesn't make me crave more sweet things, but it makes me wonder now that you said, I think that I haven't heard anyone say that before. Like they got rid of the sweet taste and then it made them not want their meat salted anymore.
Well, I think, I don't know why. I don't know why it's correlated, but
I think it comes down to like you're appreciative, like you actually enjoy something without needing any kind of crutch whatsoever. And that's huge. You know?
Because I used to douse my steak in salt. I mean,
but people with POTS, they need a lot of salt though, right?
Yeah. So I've been noticing that I don't know if it's the winter time. I know winter time is a little bit easier for me because the cold will restrict my veins. So my blood pumps a little bit better, but I haven't needed as much electrolytes at all or as much water. During the summer, I drink like a gallon and a half of water with I'd probably consume like 7 grams of sodium for me to just not feel dizzy and feel like I'm going to pass out.
Yeah, my sister, she always tells me when she's making food, she just like salts the heck out of it, because that's like one of the only things that, she knows that can help her. I'm definitely sending this episode to her. I just keep thinking that. I'm like, I have to send it to Lauren.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm probably maybe consuming like 3 grams now. So I do
Okay.
have, I carry a half gallon of water. So I finish that usually by the time I get home. And then when I'm home, I have this, I think it's 32 ounces. And then I normally don't finish this before I go to bed. And I don't put electrolytes in this. I'll put like some mineral drops in it. But yeah, so I don't know. Something's happening. And I don't need as much salt, which is fine with me because it can get expensive.
So Renee has a question for you. How long have you been on carnivore, Andrea?
I've been on carnivore for, it'll be, let's see, almost 2 years. So I think I started in March. So March of 2024 will be 2 years.
Okay. So you just mentioned a 90-day challenge. If you've been carnivore almost 2 years, what's the 90-day challenge that you're talking about?
Yeah, so when I started carnivore, I did, like I said, mostly ribeye, but then since I was reacting to every single food, I was slowly adding back in other foods. I of course started like eggs and then I did like potatoes and stuff like that just to see if I would react. But I was kind of just like here and there and animal based and always using sweeteners and having keto treats every once in a while. And I was mostly carnivore though. I mean, I would probably say like 80 to 90% carnivore. But I noticed that I would kind of like slip into just having like potato chips, but like no seed oils or something like that. And my joints were starting to hurt and I wasn't really feeling too well. So I decided to do a 90-day restart with just ruminant meat, organs, salt, and water. So I eliminated all sweet things, even like I said, stevia, anything that would make me kind of stumble into like a binge. And it's been 4 weeks doing that, and I have seen amazing results and just I've grown so much in my emotional understanding and like relying more on God for comfort than food.
Right. Yeah.
That is
So-
so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a comment. I'm going to try to go find it. I don't know if I started or not. I might not have. I didn't. It was from Mike, and he said he loves. I'm just going to sorry, Mike. Type it again, Mike. He says that he really loves how you rely on God or something. There we go. I love how Andrea trusts God. There you go. Yes, Mike. Absolutely.
And he also likes that you put scripture in your videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I definitely contribute a lot to the Lord. When I was really sick, I couldn't get out of bed, like I said. So I just dove into the Bible and just really getting sick brought me a lot closer to God because I wasn't working. I had no paycheck. I wasn't able to go to church anymore. I had no fellowship, no outside communication. Some people, my mom definitely supported me, but like my sister thought I was crazy. Until I came home one day with an EpiPen because I was breaking out in hives. And she's like, "Oh, you're really sick." And I'm like, "Yeah." But the Lord was really with me through it all. And I've learned to trust him more and just really rely on his strength and his comfort. And doing this without the sweeteners has brought me even closer because I'm like, wow, I have definitely turned to food a lot more than I thought. Even carnivore, because I would I would do like pork rinds and cream cheese, even though it's carnivore. Like I was still really hyper palatable, and I would binge it. I could binge eat it, and I was having problems with still binge eating on carnivore.
Yeah, for me, not on carnivore so much, but with keto. And I guess, I don't know, my version of carnivore is a little, maybe it doesn't always include those things. When I was more keto, I did include pork rinds, I did include more cream cheese, and I still had to like self control it. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I'm with you. I could binge those and nuts as well, like pecans, I would have a lot of and I'd go for a handful and then I'd go back for another one and another one. Or cream cheese, I'd have an ounce, and then it was like, next time I do that, let's make it 2 or 3 ounces. Yeah, I hear you. I guess those things are carnivore, the cream cheese and the pork rinds, but I've kind of just cut those out, and I don't miss them anymore. Like I now just give me a good ribeye or picanha or something like that. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, I think that's where I've seen so much success was like eating whole food carnivore, if that makes sense, instead of the more dirty kind of processed
foods.
Mm-hmm,
I try to stick to whole food carnivore like pretty much the whole way through. I think I've used pork rinds maybe like once or twice, and it's been over 200 days. So I definitely think that's really important, especially if you're dealing with addiction of any kind. I say that I had emotional eating as well. Like every emotion was tied to food. And I was just always looking for the fridge for some kind of like I looked at it as like a sanctuary. Like, oh, I'm dealing with it. It's okay. I can just go have another piece of whatever, or another bite of this, or another bite of that. And I feel like it's like this way of eating. It's finally so satisfying. Like I actually feel full. Like, do you feel full now?
Yeah. So I'm still trying to decipher between like feeling full and cravings, because like right now I'm full, but I could totally eat some ice cream right now. You know what I'm saying? Like my brain is still like, where's the sweets, or like where's the dairy or whatever else. And I'm definitely still, it's definitely lessened over the time. I think one of my videos I talked about, like the first week of doing the 90 days, like I took a tablespoon of honey because I was like, my brain was just like, where's the carbs? Where's the carbs? Because I was doing coconut water with my prime protein shakes, because I felt like with the pots, I needed the electrolytes and the carbs and all those things. Again, like it was more like a crutch than anything. And so after the tablespoon of honey, the next day I did butter. And then after that, I was like, nope, no butter, no honey. I'm good. I don't need it. And so it's been challenging, especially when I get stressed. But I forgot her name. I listened to 5 Minute Body. What's her name?
I don't know her name either, but I know what you're talking about.
She, when you're more stressed, just eat a little bit more fat, maybe. So like have a fattier ribeye or add tallow or something like that, so that you're not, so that your body can use that energy. So you're not like super stressed and like craving other things.
Yeah. Well, hey everybody, I think it's time to spin a meaty question. Andrea, are you ready for our spinner?
Yes.
Ready or not? No, she's ready, you guys. She's ready. All right, here is our wheel. It is time to spin a meaty question. I wonder what it will be.
Oh.
Well, we hunted down a meaty question for you, Andrea. Inflammation and you. How has inflammation affected you? And has a meat-based way of eating helped?
100%. I mean, when I look at pictures of myself before I started carnivore, even though I weighed either less or the same, I was so inflamed. Like I had no structure in my face. It was just so inflamed. My eyes were always puffy in the morning. My joints always hurt. I was always bloated. I'd get like I don't even know if it was gout, but my big toe would always bother me. I have none of that now. It's been really incredible just to see the inflammation gone down, and then the acne, that's inflammation, that's gone. My hair's not falling out anymore. What else? More, but it's been great.
Yeah, it's I know I can't remember all of mine either when asked on the spot.
Every time I do
I
an
had to
interview,
like write all my lists.
it's like, I forgot that. I forgot that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There's so many. There's so many benefits
Yes.
to doing a meat-based diet for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that we should show Andrea's channel so that everybody
Absolutely.
can go. If you're moved by her story at all, please go support her, because she is not only educating you, but she's also sharing her real life progress with her carnivore diet. So here she is here. Yeah, overcoming Lyme and mold illness through carnivore way of eating. Absolutely. And if you're like, who's Dan? Watch this one.
He's in that one too, yeah.
I watched that one.
We Dan's
can
an
see all the ones you
ambassador for Global Lyme Alliance, and we got invited to the gala. And
Oh.
Oh
so
wow,
we
that's
went to New
amazing.
York. Yeah,
That sounds like a lot of fun.
it was fun, and everybody there, almost everybody there had Lyme, so we were all chatting and getting. It was nice.
You're all best friends.
Yeah, it was nice to just be heard and hear stories of the same thing that you went through. And
Do you think that like anyone else was eating like a keto or carnivore diet that you know of?
yeah, so that's funny that you say that. Most of them like were not as far along in their improvement. I don't know why, but Dan and I were the only ones doing carnivore. Some people who have Lyme unfortunately have alpha gal, and that is an allergy to red meat. So they don't. They do like vegan. A lot of them are vegan or vegetarian, which hurts my heart. But it's really hard with alpha gal. Dan was just telling me though, he knows somebody with alpha gal, and they have been thriving on carnivore, but they're doing fish, and I don't know if chicken. I think I don't know if it's all meat or just red meat, but I know
It's mostly red meat.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, he's doing fish and something else, and he's been like healing and being able to like have a little bit of red meat, and so it's interesting.
So there is always hope. Absolutely.
Always.
So, Christy,
Yes,
you're muted.
Christy,
Sorry.
we can't hear you.
Comment. I was answering a comment and somebody else. I didn't want you guys to hear my typing. But Andrea, I have one more question. I have a lot of questions. So in one of your videos that I was watching today, you were talking about your different certifications, like how you're currently certified and then what you're going to school for. Like, I'm excited to hear about that. How much longer, like, what are you going to school for? How much longer do you have? And what are your plans when you finish that?
So I'll probably be in school for the rest of my life because I just love learning. And but so I'm certified in nutrition response testing. Unfortunately, that certification doesn't allow me to see people unless I'm working under a license of another physician. So I decided to go back to school, get another certificate through the Nutrition Therapy Association. They're a very holistic kind of Western A price type of nutrition program, and I will be finished next September with that, and I'll be able to see clients as well. So going to be taking the courses in functional how to to read functional labs like the mycotoxin and oats tests and all those other things, so that when people come to me, I can actually do blood work and prescribe protocols, and as well as if they're interested in carnivore, obviously do that with them. But I know some people can shy away from it, but I don't want them to not get the help that they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whew. You've been through so much. I'm just like, I get like overwhelmed with like emotion, because I'm just like, you've been through so much. And like I think I started tearing up when you started tearing up. You're like, I could walk down the driveway and I can lift my arms up. Like, that is just like, it's a miracle. Like, that just sounds like a miracle to me.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy because it seems like it really didn't even happen, but then I see other people going through what I went through, and I'm like, but they've been going through it for years. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, they're like, oh, I'm on meds and my doctor said I'm going to have this forever. I'm like, no, stop listening to them. Like, do something about it. Like, you can do, there's hope. You can do it. Like, here's my story. Here's countless of other people's stories that have overcome these chronic illnesses and disease. The medical system, I'll give them credit where it's due, and they're amazing at emergency medicine. And if you are, in capacity to where you need that survival medicine, like, yes, but when it comes to like healthcare and preventative maintenance and just overall well-being, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. Medical doctors spend like 10 hours of 8 years learning about nutrition.
Yeah, it's crazy. So many of the people know my blood work story. And my friend from work shared with me a post on a local Facebook page, and people, not me, like somebody else, like not even me. So there's a carnivore nearby somewhere, because the post was asking, does anyone know of a doctor around here that approves of, is backing the carnivore diet? And like 3 or 4 people answered a particular doctor's name. And I'm like, hallelujah, because my doctor pretty much told me I'm about to die. She looked at me like I'm probably going to have a heart attack right in front of her. And I tried to work with her, and she just eventually stopped calling me. So that's where we are. She just refuses to talk to me now. She never just said, you're not my patient anymore. But yeah, she stopped calling me back. So I do have, I'm not like in a hurry, but now I at least have 2 options that are close to me that I can at least try calling their office. But yeah, and somebody said, yes, doctor, so I don't want to say his name, but doctor, so-and-so, he'll just tell you to go eat like meat and dairy. And I'm like, yes, I need to talk to this guy like tomorrow, like right now. So I was very excited. So yeah, I'll keep everybody posted, but yeah, this was crazy. I think I was going to fire my doctor. I'm pretty sure she fired me.
Yeah. And that's, I want to have such a broad client basis. Like, if you're just looking for wellness or you have chronic illness, like, I want to be able to help you in any area. And I'll probably be mostly remote at first, but the other things that I'll be doing, like I can send the lab work to your house, and then if I make a protocol, you can just go to like a full script or whatever and get everything that you need. But I'm pretty much going to be more teaching people how to live and ground and get morning sunlight and stop watching TV when you eat and actually chew your food. Like, those little things that you think don't have any impact have a huge impact on your health. They really do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ellie had put a question in here. Now she had to go. She's like doing the mom thing too, as we all are, but we 3 lionesses. But can you talk a little bit more about grounding? Because here in Southern California, the water has gotten so expensive. We have no grass anymore like we used to. I mean, like at my house. I've heard somebody say it works through concrete. Like we have just our concrete patio and driveway, and then we have a bunch of rocks that I can't stand on because they're hurt my feet. So what's the best way for someone like me to go back? Can I do it on the concrete? Do I have to drive down to the park where there's grass, or what's the best?
So I mean, do you still have soil or?
So the soil, there's a place where there's soil that kind of has like a mulch covering.
So as long as you're barefoot, I've heard of concrete. I particularly don't like that, but concrete is an okay conductor, but like you don't want to stand on wood because that doesn't conduct energy. And you don't want to stand on asphalt, so like the road.
Right.
But concrete is usually okay. And then of course, grass or soil. It doesn't have to be like luscious grass. It can just be like maybe clay or something that's the earth. And so I live on a 3rd-story apartment, so I go downstairs every morning and find some dirt. Yeah, go find some dirt.
Get that.
Tell us in the 80s to rub some dirt on it when we got it.
Rub some dirt. Put some Windex on it.
Yes, exactly.
It's a good movie.
But I mean, just 3 minutes of standing on the earth will your body will be able to transfer some electrons, and it's almost like, I don't want to say it's a charging station, but you're able to release and also pick up. So the earth resonates at the same frequency as our heart beats, which is really cool. So I have a grounding mat. I don't know how well it works, honestly. I still go outside and prioritize that in the morning with the sunlight and all that fun stuff.
That's awesome. I'm not trying to change the subject here, but our friend Susan was in the ER actually a couple of times for some heart issues that she was having. So this is great news, Susan. She saw her doctor yesterday as a follow-up from the ER. He told me to keep doing carnivore. That's so awesome, as my numbers are fantastic. Even if I could come off statins if I kept this up. Yes, Susan. Yes.
Wow, that's awesome, Susan.
Look at Ellie. Ellie's just like, she can't even.
So Andrea, what is a grounding mat? What is that?
I can grab it real quick if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen one. I've heard of one.
Show and tell. I love it.
I would love some show and tell. Yes, I'm a teacher. We don't do show and tell anymore. There's no time for that.
That's so sad.
Yeah. We still have them give oral presentations. Like it helps with their. Oh, okay.
What is it made of?
Okay,
It's like,
that's cool.
rubber. I don't even know.
So is rubber a good conductor then? Must be.
This is not rubber. I don't know what it is, to be honest.
Probably like some kind of foamy type thing.
Yeah, it's
right?
like there's foam. I should have done more research. Dan got it for me.
Is it similar to like a yoga mat texture? Like would it be similar to that, do you think? Depending on the yoga mat, maybe?
No, it's more like I don't know. It's like foamy. This is maybe like a leather, and this is like a.
Oh, okay, cool.
No.
So is it supposed to give off the same electrons that the earth gives off? Because it doesn't like plug in. It does this not. It's just a mat. So is it?
No, so I unplugged it. This plugs into. You have to check your outlets and make sure that the outlet is grounded.
Okay.
You plug it in to the wall.
Okay.
I haven't really noticed too much with this as much as I notice with actually being outside.
Okay, so what do you notice? So if you go out and ground, like outside on some dirt, I'm gonna go find some dirt. When I go find
as long as I don't walk on dog poop, I'd be good.
Yes.
2 dogs in my house.
some dirt, and I'm gonna go stand on it for 3 minutes in the morning. I'm gonna try to do it. What am I gonna notice? Like, how long is that gonna take me to notice something? And what should I notice?
So for me personally, I've noticed a better mood. So I'm like more optimistic about my day. I'm like, I'm gonna get this sale, and I'm gonna finish this today, and my mood is just super elevated, and it almost feels like I drank a cup of coffee. I'm just like, let's go, let's start my day. That's pretty much it. I go downstairs, I have my hot water with my salt, and I do some breathing, and I stand out and watch the sunrise. and I don't know. I feel like more sustained energy throughout the day. I mean, just really good. Not as angry, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike's comment was just making me laugh.
Oh, I know. And I just put him in detention, you guys. We have to do that with Mike. He will go crazy in the comments if I don't put him in the corner. Just kidding, Mike. We love you. You keep the chat lively. This is Carrie. She says, I go barefoot all the time and barefoot when I check the mail or take the trash out.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I see more benefit. I use a red light. I see more benefit from that than I do the grounding mat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. I saw that in there. I was wondering what red light you use and how, like, what's your red light regimen? Because I've heard of red light therapy, and that's about as much as I know. Like, it exists, and it's called red light therapy.
Like, why do you do it?
Yeah,
Do
what do you do?
Do you want me to put what I use in the chat or the comments?
Yes.
So
Yeah, if you
it's Mito Red Light is the brand. I have a small one. You can even get a smaller one, like a travel size one. For what it's worth, I don't. It's like $250, but for me, it's been worth it. It really works on stimulating and energizing your mitochondria, which is, everybody knows, is a powerhouse of your cells.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do in the morning, I'll sit and just stretch the red light. Later in the day, when I come home after I walk and work out, I go and sit in front of the red light again. It's really good for recovery. It's really good for your skin. It pretty much just gives the energy that your cells need, because we're energy beings, and the sun. That's why the sun and grounding is so important. And I don't know. The red light has just been a saving grace for me when I really start to feel, well, here, when I used it and I thought I didn't see a benefit, and then I stopped using it, and then I was getting really tired, and then I started using it again, and then I wasn't tired. I was like, oh, it works. So it's been really good for my healing, and anybody with mold illness should definitely get one.
That's interesting. Yeah, the people are commenting on the baby coos. They are so cute.
So cute.
Baby coos.
I've had to mute him because he's like yelling. He's like, ah!
He's over talking Andrea. But we love it.
I keep muting him. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy, but you can't talk over the guest.
It's okay. Hearing a baby means that people are still there's life still going on. Awesome.
That's right. So Midlife Carnivore Lynn, she was our guest last week, Andrea, and she would like to know if it's okay if she contacts you.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Anybody can contact me.
Is your email and everything on your YouTube channel?
I don't know. That's a good question.
So if not, just let us know how she can contact you. That'd be great.
Does she have an Instagram?
I have her email.
Okay.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Actually, speaking of babies,
and Midlife Carnivore, go hop on her videos and just spam her comment section.
There you
Spam
go.
Andrea's comment section.
I watch her stuff all the time. I'll reach out to her. I think so. On my channel, it says my email address is on there, but it may be private. I'm not sure. So
okay. Well, either way, I know she has Instagram, so she can probably find you there and message you. That would work. So hi, Robin. This is Carnivorous Grandma Robin. It's okay, Robin. There's
Robin.
But she says I have a red light and don't use it. Robin, I don't know if you just heard Andrea talking about red light, but she says it really helps the mitochondria and helps her out. So since you already have one, it might be something cool to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I kind of wish I had one so I could just try it and see.
Ricky, I'm not muting my child. I'm muting my microphone. I should specify that. Just wanted to say that out loud for anyone who wanted to know.
That's cute.
I keep thinking I hear my son. I'm like, is that him? Is that
Sorry.
Because I'm,
No,
I'm solo momming
it's little
tonight.
baby.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, Ellie is like
You're
holding
awesome,
down
Elle.
the fort of her house, but carnivore
Yeah.
moms have the energy to do it all.
Yeah.
Mike, you're not wrong. Carnivore DMs got me back on Instagram. It's a thing. Yes, sir. It's a thing.
Yeah. One more thing too. I have problems with my cycle and stuff, and I have been going to an OB to check for system stuff. I had to get a CT scan, and I've been getting ultrasounds. They've been tracking my right ovary because there's a bunch of masses on it. They're not cyst, they're not fluid filled, they're like solid. She didn't say they're tumors or anything. They're just like solid masses. So they're thinking that I have endometriosis, and I'm wanting to see if this 90 days with no stevia and nothing else is going to help with that as well. So I get an ultrasound at the end of January, which will be when I'm done with the 90 days. So I'm excited to see if doing really, really strict will help make these masses smaller.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Keep us posted for sure on that. I always want to hear like a lot of our guests I want to have back, right? Ellie, don't you feel that? Because they're always telling us a story, and then it's like, come back in like 3 months, we can hear an update because like a lot of people are still in the middle of their healing, and we definitely, I do mean it when I say keep me updated because it's like now I want to know.
Yeah, please do.
I will.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I'll keep my YouTube channel updated as well. So
yes, your content is great. I really enjoy it. So
well, thank you. I'm trying. It can be stressful at times.
You're working,
you're busy working, going to school,
all that. I like to leave you fat comments. That's like
Thank you.
yes, carnivore comments.
I was up late last night filming to get it just out, but I do really appreciate it because it is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. It is. We know.
I know. Yes, you guys. Yeah, I don't know how y'all do it with moms, and that's crazy.
I don't. That's the thing. I'm gonna say that now. I don't really do it.
You do it, Lindsay. But no, for me, I didn't have a lot of weight to lose, like I always say. So it's like if I don't say this to people, they're not going to hear my story because you can't see it. You can't see it before and after. You can't. Now after hearing you, my benefits are, they pale in comparison to yours, but still, everyone's story is important. And I feel so much better. I feel amazing. I just feel like I'm called to share it because, what'd you call it? The wacky meat diet or whatever. It's like,
your crazy meat diet.
Weird meat diet.
Crazy meat diet. Yeah, there you go. Weird meat diet.
Yeah. We gotta just keep sharing the message because, it's just helps. I mean, everyone that I know that's tried it, has all kinds of benefits that I've had, benefits that I, don't know anything about. But I'm surprised almost every day by something that somebody says that help them with.
I'm starting to see some YouTube, some pretty big YouTubers doing carnivore and sharing their results.
Oh,
It's been crazy. They're like, this works. Like, and these are like big YouTubers that have nothing to do with carnivore food or anything.
That's amazing. Just knowing that it's getting through to people and just getting across the big people of YouTube is awesome.
Yes, and definitely supporting Carrie and all he's doing with the documentary and the cancer research, and it's finally like. It's like we're in a whole different world, though. I talk to people who have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, you have to join this community. Like,
yeah. So I posted a short. Shorts are where you get all the haters, for sure. But I posted a short today about how I used one of my subscribers recommended that I use my leftover pork belly to do like pork belly and eggs. So I did that today and I posted a short. Okay. And somebody said, why do people do this to themselves? And then I said, healthy and delicious. And then they said, meat in moderation is fine, but if all you eat is meat, whatever. I forget the end of that comment, but it was like, yeah, meat in moderation. So then my response was, I know I should just stop responding. I know. But my response was a link to a Dr. Barry video about how all things in moderation is a dumb idea. And they didn't answer me after that.
That's the best. Just throw Dr. Barry at them.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so funny. I love Dr. Barry. I don't know who doesn't though.
I mean, it wasn't disrespectful, and they weren't disrespectful back for sure. Like if they started being disrespectful, I just would have not talked. But yeah, why do they don't understand, you know? And so maybe a better response would have been, well, my mental health is better, my mental clarity is better, my sleep is better. I have lost 20 pounds. Maybe I should have said that, but I didn't. I threw Dr. Barry at him.
Well, Dr. Barry's a good thing to throw at people. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, baby.
You're doing so good, Lindsay. She's multitasking. She's being mom. She's being lioness. She's doing it.
That's right.
She's
Well,
like, no.
I know these two young moms are, got their young kids here, and I do think we need to close this out. Although I could talk to you all night, Andrea, so we need to have you back again. You are fantastic. But thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for talking with us, for answering all of our questions. There was a lot about your story. Even like Lyme disease, it's like I've heard of it, but I didn't know how bad it could be or any of that stuff. So yeah, you have just a fantastic fount of information. So thank you so much.
of course. Thank you guys. And one last thing about Lyme disease. Most people die from Lyme disease because they kill themselves because the symptoms are so severe and nobody believes them. So it's definitely that's why we're part of the ambassadors and just bringing awareness to the disease because it can be very brutal. But I don't want to end on a sad note because there is hope for anybody and everybody out there. I believe that there is a way to get around things and healing for everybody. So thank you guys for having me so much. It was great to talk to all of you.
All right.
We love you so much. Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah.
Aww.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.